Gengar gang, what is going on? My name is Ryan, this is the Analytic Gengar, and welcome to another video. In today's episode of TCG Toolkit, we'll be talking about how to start Pokemon card collecting in 2020. I wanted to make this video, friends, just so you know, with the idea that maybe something I wish I knew getting back into the hobby, as well as starting a YouTube channel. Some of that stuff I wanted to pass it along. Hopefully it helps someone out there. And with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, I'll divide this video into two main sections. First is about your trading card collection, so how to store it. The second part is where you're going to be buying trading cards from, because once you have ways to store and keep your cards safe, the next thing you'll probably need to do is go ahead and buy some cards to start collecting. So the first thing that you'll probably need is a binder. Now binders can be simple or premium. A simple binder can literally be as easy as a 3-ring binder from Staples, as well as some of these binder sheets from Ultra Pro. The sheets contain 9 pockets that load from the top, and the idea is simple. Take a Pokemon card, put it in there. In addition to loading it front facing, you can also put Pokemon cards back to back and double the capacity so that each sheet holds 18 Pokemon cards. This is probably the binder everyone had growing up. It seems like these binders are more and more common every single day, and may I just say they are very cheap. Per sleeve, you can usually get one sleeve at about 20 cents, and if you factor in the cost of about 100 sheets as well as a binder, you're looking at about $25, and you can hold a bunch of Pokemon cards. Now, in the event that you wanted something a little bit more premium, here is an example of a Vault X binder. This is one of the binders that I actually use, and I will be making a video sometime in the near future about why I really like this binder. Now, a couple things to note about this binder. It follows a similar format. There are 9 pockets on each sleeve, and there are approximately 40 sleeves in this entire binder. One of the big drawbacks about this binder is that although it is very costly, the maximum capacity is limited to 360 pockets. So do bear that in mind, that although a simple binder can be expanded to about as thick as the 3 rings on the binder are, these binders, which are a little bit more premium, do have a limited capacity. Now, some things that I like about this binder. For one, you can get them in a whole bunch of colors, so that's always fun. 2, they have an elastic band that folds around the front, and this is very useful for keeping your collection tight and secured, as well as making sure that the binder cover doesn't flop over. The next thing that I really like is here on the actual image of the card, of the binder, you can see that each of the sleeves is actually a cloth fabric type of material, and then the sleeves or the pockets are actually stitched into that fabric. Now, each of these actually loads from the side, not the top, which actually adds to the premium experience, I believe. And what I've also noticed is that these are quite a bit larger than the comparable Ultra Pro sleeves. What does this mean? It means that you can take a Pokemon card and fit it in here, but you can also take a Pokemon card in a sleeve for added protection and sleeve it up in here. You'll notice that many YouTubers use this type of binder nowadays, and here are my thoughts. A simple binder can cost anywhere from about 25 to 35 cents per sheet of 18 cards. This premium binder costs about 50 cents, but the added cost you do get back, because may I just say, it's not easy to fill one of these things up. I'm still working on my very first one, and in addition to that, there's actually a really nice feel to these binders that is worth the additional cost. So I say, if you have the extra cash, or you could spring and save up for this, do yourself a favor and get one of these. They will hold about 2 complete card collections, or they will hold a whole bunch of pulls for the foreseeable future. Now, in addition to binders, the second thing that no one ever tells you about is bulk. When you open Pokemon cards, especially if you open Pokemon cards in large numbers, you will end up with bulk. Bulk is basically anything and everything that you don't want. So you may be into Pokemon card collecting for just the rare pulls. That's typically how most of us YouTubers operate. We see the pulls, we get the pulls, we sleeve up the pulls, everything else goes to bulk. Some people play the TCG, and therefore they may be hunting for trainer cards, stadium cards, energy cards, etc., etc. But regardless of who you are and what role you play in the hobby, chances are at the end of the day you're going to end up with a stack of common cards that are just duplicative, and as a result you'll need to get rid of them. Now, a lot of people do a lot of different things to bulk. You could throw it away, which is kind of wasteful, but it is a quick and easy way of getting rid of the extra Pokemon cards waste. The second thing you can do, which is preferred, is to donate your cards. You can typically donate a lot of used cards to Goodwill, to charity, as well as children's hospitals. But do be aware that some children's hospitals, based on certain health procedures, will not accept opened Pokemon cards. They'll only accept sealed product. And then the other thing you can do is sell your bulk. As a YouTuber, I think it's more financially responsible for me to donate when I can and resell my bulk, because it's more efficient that way. Now, it should be noted that in 2020, the year of this video's release, unfortunately bulk has taken a massive hit. When COVID-19 hit, all of the large gatherings were shut down, including Pokemon tournaments, and as a result, Pokemon players don't need bulk right now. So, as of right now, the bulk prices have taken a big hit, but once things start opening back up again, it is assumed that bulk prices will also recover, because while there'll be plenty of supply, the demand will finally be back and will cause the prices to slightly raise. Now, in the meantime, what do you do with your bulk? Well, there's a couple different options. You can buy these fancy cardboard holders. They do have limited capacity, typically somewhere in the range of like 800 cards. You can also get ones that are 1600, 3500. I've seen all sorts of fancy ones. What I don't like about these is that you're basically paying for fancy cardboard, and although they are custom fitted to fit cards really nicely, I do find it a little ridiculous to pay that much for cardboard. I could literally go to the grocery store and get a box, which brings me to my next point. You could go to Michael's or another craft store and get a photo box. Photo boxes are cool for the same reason. I actually use these not for bulk, but for loose packs and things of that nature. If I need to throw something in there, it's super convenient to get them in there. Now, boxes are fun, but again, they can be costly, and it may not be worth it for something that you'd plan on throwing away or giving away sometime in the future. My preferred method is to use a shipping box. I specifically use a USPS large priority mail box because I'm here in the United States, and here I can actually use this box not only to store my cards, but eventually when I fill it up, I can actually ship in this exact same box. So it's actually very helpful for me because I can get the box for free at the post office, and I'm totally within my rights to use it to put the cards in and then eventually send them off. Now, the one thing I will say with my preferred method is that a large priority mail box costs about $20 to ship in. I can usually fit about $100 worth of bulk in there, so do realize that I will only be taking about 80% of my costs once I mail this thing in, but realistically, it's probably one of the least important aspects of my channel and my business, so for what it's worth, I'm not too concerned if I only get back $80, because frankly, if I threw the cards away, I wouldn't be getting anything back anyway. Now, next up is my guide to buying, and buying will flat out and straight up take place in one of two ways, either online or in-store. In-store, there's two big sections of card shops that you can check. Typically in my area, we have the big box stores, places like Target and Walmart, and then we have the smaller mom and pop style shops. There are pros and cons to shopping both, so you should be aware of each of them and try to make active decisions based on that. So, for places like Target and Walmart, some of the good news is that these stores are well maintained and are in touch with distributors who will get you the most recent and up-to-date product. So if you're looking for the most recent sets as well as the most recent tins and other collectibles, you will find them at your local Walmarts, Targets, and big box stores like Best Buy. However, some of the cons of shopping at these types of places is that you can typically end up in situations where you are facing a lot more competition for the same items. So a lot of people will swoop in and try to grab the same items. So in events like Hidden Fates being released, it can often be difficult to also find items as well. Now, when it comes to local game shops, the good news is that typically there is a lot more wiggle room with what you can find because these stores may not be as frequently visited. However, one of the things to bear in mind about local game shops is that while they may be awesome and it might be great to support a local business, one of the main challenges is that because of the lack of overhead, there might actually be a significant increase in cost comparative to big box stores. So whereas Target may sell a Hidden Fates ETB for the standard $50 MSRP, a local game shop may sell it for $60 or $65, and that's just because they don't operate at the scale and the efficiency that someplace like a Target does. So that's why you might see a discrepancy with MSRP when shopping a local mom and pop shop. Now, when it comes to online buying, you will see most of the big box stores online as well, so I definitely recommend checking them out. One of the things to bear in mind is that for especially places like Target and Walmart, there are the marketplaces. What this means is that not only does Target sell on their website, but also other sellers that are third parties will sell on the website as well. So you might want to be on the watch out for them because those sellers may not have up-to-date or perfectly untampered product. I'll speak a little bit more about that later on. In addition to this, we have other stores like the local game shops as well as distributors, as well as eBay and Amazon. When it comes to local game shops and distributors, the idea is that they're smaller businesses, but they'll probably sell at different rates. And then when it comes to eBay, it's a great place because of two things. One, you might find vintage items, and obviously eBay is huge for the vintage Pokemon market. But in addition to this, it's a great place to hit up local distributors. So, for example, Fed USA is a great Pokemon card seller that will actually sell a case of booster boxes to you. Now, this isn't something you could find on a store shelf unless you were super lucky and just got there as they were unloading the truck, but they're dime a dozen on eBay and you can pick them up. The good news is that you can even use discounts and other things to get a little bit of a sale on the side. Amazon is more like a marketplace like Walmart or Target, and it's not a coincidence because Walmart and Target are doing that to compete with Amazon. You'll typically have third-party sellers selling random tidbits and items, but the one thing you want to be on the lookout for are third parties who are a little bit more nefarious and are selling resealed product. Now, some other advanced tips that kind of spread across both in-store and online purchasing. You could use points, credit cards, and perks and or royalty and loyalty programs in order to get money back. So for example, the eBay site has the eBay Bucks coupon system where purchases earn a certain percent in cash back. In addition to this, eBay has a MasterCard that allows you to earn points in addition to your eBay Bucks. So in theory, you could be earning a pretty significant portion of the money spent back in coupons. This is again great because the more you buy, the more you save. Amazon has a Chase card that will allow you to get 5% back on all your purchases. And although Amazon is more than just Pokemon cards, obviously you would also be getting 5% back on your Pokemon card purchases on Amazon. And places like Target and Walmart also have sales, which means you can go in and you can get something like Target's very famous 25 off 100 or 10 off 50 deal. Or at local game shops whose proprietors and owners may be more willing to make a deal if you're willing to buy a larger amount of product. So those are all different ways that you might be able to get some money and save. Now, the last thing to consider is tampered product. And I'll briefly kind of peg through some stuff. In store, you're usually lowering the risk of having this happen to you because of the very nature of in-store product. Typically what happens is the stuff comes off the distributor's truck, goes into a Target employee hand, and then goes straight onto the shelf. You then walk in, pick it up, and the product has never come into contact with anyone who would be willing to tamper with it. Now, that's typically how it works. However, it's not always perfect because one thing that has happened at Target before is that people have observed others either weighing cards, opening product, or doing something to the product and then returning it. So there are instances, and some are very well noted online in openings, where a product that had a mysterious hole in it or had a cut in it or was marked as returned and then was tampered with when it was opened on YouTube. One of the other famous cases is any mystery power box that's been for sale at Walmart. There's always stories, especially on places like Facebook and Reddit, where people are poking the bottom of the box and feeling around inside the box to see if there is a vintage pack in there or if there's a PSA card for those mystery boxes that had a 1 in X chance of getting a PSA card. And finally but not least, when it comes to the online section, you definitely want to be more on the lookout. Now, I actually had this happen to me, and it is a video on this channel for you to go check out, as you can see in the eye up above, and I'll also have the link down below. I bought some tins on Amazon that ended up being resealed, so I needed to go ahead and get in contact with my seller and have them returned. Now, I don't know if they were resealing them or if they simply came into possession of resealed items, but online it is that much more likely that something like this will happen to you. So it is another important consideration when purchasing online. The best thing you can do is look at the feedback and personally use trusted sellers that will allow you to get the best product at the best prices. With that said, friends, thanks again for checking out today's video. This was more of a beginner's guide than a collector's guide, but I hope you were able to learn something too, or at minimum, hopefully see something. Let me know down below if you want to see a binder review. It's something that I've been thinking about doing. I buy a lot of stuff online, not even Pokemon card related, but related to my collecting of Pokemon cards, and I've been thinking about doing some reviews of those types of items, with the hope being that I can kind of share with you all some of my own specific tools and techniques, and hopefully you can learn something too and maybe make a decision as to whether or not you like the products that I use as well. And hopefully I can also learn if there's better products out there. But let me know down below if you want to see something like that. I've been thinking about doing it. It may already be on the channel, who knows, but I will definitely look down below and see what I see. Feel free to also leave questions if you are new to collecting and want to get started. I'm sure myself, as well as other members of the Gengar gang, will be down below trolling the comments and making sure that your questions get answered. With all that said, thanks again for checking out today's video, friends. I hope you learned something new. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you think I've earned your subscription. Thanks again for checking out the video, and we'll talk to you real soon. Peace.